Hey guys, TonyT here. I just want to say thank you so much for over 100 subscribers. I mean, I've been on YouTube since December 21st of 2015, and I just want to say, wow, it's been a ride for me on YouTube for the last couple of years. It's very hard to do YouTube for me because it's nothing like I have a problem with it. It's really not. It's just me finding out the right time and the right videos I want to create and whatever like that. Yes, I know I said it 1,000 times that I'm not a big YouTuber, and I said I'm not really a YouTuber in the first place. I'm a singer, I'm a music artist, I want to create music, I want to put it out on YouTube. Yeah, and I will admit, everybody knows me because of Michael Jackson's music and everything that he stands for. I stand for that as I stand by that as well. Like what he represented, I'm trying to represent that for myself, but in my own way. Let me explain something. So I would say about almost 8 years ago, 2010, on April 22nd, 2010, everything changed. I started performing, everything changed to whatever. I started collecting Michael Jackson CDs, I started collecting DVDs, man, I even had a couple books at the time. But I'm still, believe it or not, I'm 18 years old, and I've been listening to Michael Jackson since I was 9 years old. That's literally almost a decade. Next year will be a decade since I started listening to Michael Jackson, and up to this day I still do. And a lot has changed over the last almost 9 years, because believe it or not, I started listening to Michael Jackson's music the day that he died. And the way how I found out about him is when when the news broke out about his death, and my mom was crying. I'm like, "Mom, why are you crying?" She told me that Michael Jackson died. I didn't know who he was at the time. And I know there's probably going to be a lot of people going to be like, "Oh, he's a fake fan. He started listening to him on the day that he died. He's not a real fan. He hasn't been around the eras, like the Thriller era, the Bad era, etc." And honestly, I don't care what people think of me. Yes, I started listening to his music the day that he died. And yes, there's people that say, oh, they're a fake fan because they started listening to him just because they found out that he died. To me, I was just a little kid at the time. I didn't know what he represented for. I didn't know what he did. I don't know what he did with music. I didn't know what his problems were as a child. I didn't know what his problems were as an adult in his personal life. I never knew any of that. I had to research that for myself. Yes, I have asked my dad and my mom and my stepdad and my stepmom about his life, about what he did, and I asked about his personal life, and they probably told me about a couple things, but I actually looked up a lot of research of his life, and I looked on and looked on and looked on, and I still do up to this day. I never stopped learning about Michael Jackson. It's probably never going to stop. And anyways, for me doing performing his music, a lot of people give me backlash saying, "Oh, you're trying to be the next Michael Jackson, and it's never going to work. Oh, you suck. You can't do this, you can't do that." I had a lot of problems dealing with that, and I still do, but I've gotten better with it over the last 8 years. But here's the thing about it. A lot of people have judged me just because of what I represented and what I was trying to do with my own life. But a lot has changed as well. There's people that love me, there's people that hate me. Man, there's going to be freaking doubters all your freaking life, and you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. And I'm telling you that right now, it's not going to stop, and it's probably never going to stop, ever. But here's what I'm trying to say, here's what I'm trying to do. I've been doing this for the last almost 8 years of my life, and I don't plan on stopping at all. High school, like I said before, I'm trying to get into the talent show and do it again, and try to do a Michael Jackson song again, but I plan on making my own song and performing it there. But there's a problem with that. If I audition with my own song, everybody's going to think a lot differently because people know me as doing his music. I have no problem with that because I love Michael Jackson, and if that's the only thing I can get noticed from, then hell, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to do it as long as everybody likes it. I'm cool with it. As long as I like it, I'm going to do it. I don't care. That's what I've been doing for the last 8 years almost, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. But here's the thing. a lot has changed. And yes, I've gotten older. Yes, my singing has gotten a lot better than the past. Believe me, I have. They're not home videos, but I have DVDs from back from like middle school. This is way before I started YouTube. This is way before anything happened and before high school. Everything happened basically. There's this guy. His name is Mr. Comer. He was my mentor back in like middle school days, and he taught me how to perform. He taught me how to do everything of everything that I do today. Y'all see. Everything that I do today, y'all see the videos of me performing. That man taught me how to do it. That man taught me how to do it. He taught me how to sing in a way. He taught me how to perform in a way. He taught me how Michael did this, Michael did that. I try to follow in Michael's footsteps. That's exactly what I did. And a lot has changed since then. I don't talk to him as much as I used to. Man, I went to talk to him like 2 days before school started, and that was the first time in 3 years since I've seen the man. And a lot has changed, like I said. It's probably going to be really hard. It's probably going to be really difficult for me to live with that. But I've dealt with it. I've done what I did back in those days, and I have gotten those opportunities with nobody's help. From the future on, what I did with the talent show and the pep rallies, I did that all on my own. And nobody could take that away from me. And I've done a lot for a lot of people, because people have came up to me and told me that I have inspired them for me performing in the way that I did. Like that video, the very first video on the performing live performances playlist that you see. Yes, it's 2 minutes long, but it's just because I forgot to ask somebody to record it. But that day, this is sophomore year in high school. On that day, everything changed. A lot changed over the last couple of years. Everybody was singing in the crowd. Everybody's like, "Whoa, oh my God!" Nobody even freaking knew who I was. There was kids that knew who I was, but they didn't. I wasn't friends with them like that. Kids came up to me the next week and said, "Wow, you did amazing." I made a lot of friendships after that performance, and I still talk to those people to this day. I have a lot of people in my life, and there's a lot of people that I had in my life but left and never came back and never told me why. And that makes me sad and what can I do, right? A lot has changed, and I don't really know what to say about it up to this point, because honestly, what I can tell you right now is that what I've been doing for the last 8 years almost, you better thank Michael Jackson for this, because if I didn't find out who he was, and I didn't figure out what his music was and what he stood for, what he stood by, I would not be the man I am today. And yes, I know he's been dead for almost a decade, and yes, there's a lot of people that do it a lot better than I do. Don't get me wrong. But I try to do as much as I can and do as much as I can. There's a lot of reasons why I don't perform as much as I used to anymore. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that I have to get my own opportunities, and I don't perform month after month like I used to back in the day. But like I said, a lot has changed, and there's a lot of things that have been changed, and a lot has been done, and a lot hasn't been done yet. Let me tell you this. The most amount of times that I probably performed a song that was Michael related was probably Billie Jean. And I was you guys seen the video of me performing it in the pep rally, but this is what I'm talking about here is be way before all that. I started performing Billie Jean 2012, and I went on every year and performed that song because everybody loved it when I performed that song. But when I performed it in the pep rally, it was the first time in 2 years, and a lot has changed for 2 years. A 2-year gap from me leaving middle school out of nowhere and not saying goodbye because of personal reasons, and me coming up to high school having a hard time on my freshman year, and now I'm a senior, and a lot has changed over the last 3 years. There's one thing that probably hasn't changed, which is my love for Michael Jackson. And I can't figure out of how I'm gonna say this and how I'm gonna say it right. I mean, the man's been dead for almost 9 years. And to me it hurts because I cannot explain of how much I have done for myself and for a lot of my friends. And they told me that I inspired them and that for what I've done is what I've done. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, I had my problems. I've done what I did. I've done a lot of bad things. Not a lot, a really, really bad things, but I've done things that I regret. But a lot. I have changed a lot. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to do this anymore. It just means that, in a way, as I can explain it, a lot has been really crazy for me. Nobody really knows why. Whew. Let me just tell you this. Let me tell you guys this. Let me tell you this. Listen to me and listen to me good, okay? What anybody says about you or says anything about you, don't let them say anything to let you down. I let that happen to me, and it didn't turn out very well. I'm telling you guys now, don't let anyone, and I mean anyone, tell you that you can't do something. And I mean it. Don't let them say anything to you or say that you can't do it. Because a lot of the things of what I've said is true. I've done things that I regret. The story of how I started and the story up to this point. And I have changed a lot, but there has been one thing that hasn't changed. It's probably never going to change. And that is my love of music, Michael Jackson, and performing in a way. And a lot of the time, I think about it, I go back and look at those DVDs and say, I did that. That's what I did. That's what got me started. But this is the future, then this is now. I want to thank you all for getting me up to 100 subscribers for the last couple years, and I want to say thank you for checking out my channel and just say, hey, I want to check out this dude's video on his channel and whatever. And like I said before, about a couple months ago, my Michael Jackson CD, DVD collection got over 1,000 views. That is insane. I just want to say thank you for everything. Man, you thought me getting up to 100 subscribers was going to be it? Was going to be the end? Man, this is just only the beginning. I'm TonyT, and I have left the building.